Sage Wanderer here, coming at you from my shack down by the creek. So I wanted to talk today about the left-right paradigm, okay? The left-right paradigm. Wax on, wax off. So I catch a lot of heat from a small group of people, just a few, on my message, on my comment section, on a semi-regular basis, who they kind of hurl the same insult at me. They dismiss my argument completely because I'm still hung up on the left-right paradigm. And can't I see that there is no left or right? That all of government is bad and everybody in leadership is against us and there is no safe harbor and it's all gloom and doom? Don't. I call these people black-pilled, okay? And I have a problem with being black-pilled because that shows there is no hope. But I do believe in a left-right paradigm because I believe in the battle for between good and evil, right? That for eons, it's been recognized that the left-hand path represents the pathway to hell, and the right-hand or righteous path represents the pathway to heaven. That this is not a battle between Republicans and Democrats, but a battle between good and evil. And there are evil Republicans and there are evil Democrats. I believe this. But I don't believe that everyone in leadership is all in on it. It can't be. The conspiracy can't be that big. It's mathematically impossible, right? It wouldn't be a conspiracy theory anymore. It would just be the way things were. If that many people were in on it, right? If that many people, if the entire United States government, if all of our senators, all of our congressmen, and every president that's ever been elected has all been out to the Grove and they're all in on it, right, then we would know. It would just, why bother covering it up? They already have all the power. Why would they bother even covering it up at that point? No, there's a battle between good and evil. There's a battle between left and right. There's a battle between the pathway to hell and the road to heaven. Okay, now here's where we're at in this world right now, and it really hasn't changed since Jesus' days in some ways, because the road to hell, while being paved with good intentions, is wide and obvious, and everybody goes down it. And the pathway to heaven is narrow and winding, and few find it. This is what the Bible teaches us. So there is a left hand and a right hand path. All right. Now, are all Republicans good and all Democrats evil? I could probably buy into all Democrats being evil. I could probably sign off on that, and I'll explain why. Because the Democratic Party has aligned themselves with non-righteous, evil, anti-American theologies, doctrines, and ideologies. Okay? That there's almost this cult adherence to racism. It's not just reverse racism. Okay, they don't want equality, right? They want payback. Okay, they want revenge. They don't want an end to a slave system. They want reparations. Okay, this is stuff that happened hundreds of years ago, but we're still fighting about it today. The left-hand path never forgives. It never forgets. And it never wavers from its goal. The Democratic Party is the party of slavery. They split this country once before in the 1860s because they refused to relinquish their iron grip on slaves. They'd made a whole system out of slavery. Joe Biden is not far removed from this because one of his mentors, a man he eulogized at the man's funeral, that a man that Joe Biden has openly stated he looks up to this man. A senator named Robert Byrd, who's now deceased, was a grand cyclops of the Ku Klux Klan. The Democrats and the Klan go hand in hand. Let me say it again. The Democrats and the Klan go hand in hand. Who is Richard Spencer, the modern-day neo-Nazi leader, backing right now? Is it Trump? Is Richard Spencer endorsing Trump? Richard Spencer is endorsing Joe Biden. Wake up and smell the coffee. So what does the left hand do? It lies. This is why the media is so full of lies. The old Marine used to say, if that person could tell the truth, they'd break their jaw. My favorite one is, well, that person will walk around the truth just to tell a lie. And this is how the modern media is today. They lie and lie and lie because you know what? The devil can't tell the truth. He's the father of lies. Okay? Lies like it's us who are the racist. That it's the right wing who's the racist. And that the left-hand path is for equality. No, it's not. The only reason that they're appealing to minorities right now is because they're offering them lordship over white America. They really are. That's why they make you bow down and say Black Lives Matter. If you say all lives matter, which is normal, right? That's the right-hand path of equality. Everyone's equal, right? That's the right-hand path. That's the path of the Republican Party. That's the path of Abraham Lincoln, who freed the slaves. That, you know, everyone's equal. It's in our Constitution, or in our, is that the Declaration for Independence? All men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the right-hand path. The left-hand path is a path towards destruction, chaos. Well, it's to rob, steal, destroy, kill, steal, and destroy. That's the left-hand path. Well, the left-hand path is being manifested now in the streets of our cities. What are we seeing? What are we seeing? Mayhem, chaos, rioting, murder, right? One of the things that few people talk about the rioting in Seattle that led to this little autonomous zone that they called Chaz or Chop or whatever, is that there was many, many rapes that went unpunished. They went unaddressed because they happened in that autonomous zone where there was no police. The left is for lawlessness. The right is for law and order. So there is a left-right paradigm. There is a good and there is a evil. Got it backwards. There is a good and an evil. Right? There's a good and there's an evil. There's righteousness and there's the left-hand path to hell. We're rolling downhill like a snowball headed for hell. He kind of knew what he was talking about, didn't he? Old Merle. He called it back in the 70s or 80s when he wrote that song. We have been headed downhill like a snowball headed for hell. You know, the left-hand path teaches children to disrespect their parents. The left-hand path teaches women that they don't need a family. The left-hand path is against family. It's against God. It's against the church. It's against country. It's against the Constitution. Why? Why do they hate the Constitution? Because if the left-hand path can separate you from your rights, they can enslave you. I mean, ultimately, isn't that what a slave is? A person with no rights, a person with no personal freedom. Okay? So if they can take away your freedom, they're going to inch you into slavery. Trust me, they're taking the First Amendment away and it's making you a slave. They're taking the Second Amendment away, and when that is gone, you are a slave. They can do whatever they want. They can come to your house and bend you to their will. The left-hand path is the pathway of Satan. The left-hand path is the pathway of slavery. The right-hand path is the pathway of the Republican Party. Are all Republicans good? No. We've been infiltrated. We've been infiltrated by the opposite side. You know, there's a symbol that Buddhists revere. I encountered it in martial arts, but it represents the battle between good and evil. It's the yin-yang symbol. And in that symbol, one part is white and represents light, and the other is darkness, and they're entwirled in this. Well, I have it on my shoulder. There you go. So, but in the white part, there's a little circle of darkness, and that represents the fact that there are evil people hidden in the light, pretending to be righteous people. That there is, well, the Bible says that they masquerade as angels of light, right? But they're really demons, okay? But then also on the right-hand path, in the light, on the left-hand path, in the darkness, are good people trapped in the darkness, and that is represented by the little white dot in the center of all that black on the yin-yang symbol. And, you know, I've used this to teach people about the battle between good and evil. And that those people that are trapped in the darkness. Well, it's what the hooker with the heart of gold story is kind of based on. You know, the drug dealer who won't sell to the high school kids, and he uses most of his profits to feed the hungry children in the neighborhood. Okay, so to quote Donald Trump, there are good people on both sides. There are fine people on both sides. There are also very dark and evil people on both sides. But there are sides. The left-right paradigm is real. There is a righteous path and an unrighteous path. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little ambidextrous and confused about my right hand and left hand sometimes because there was such a prejudice against people who were left-handed that when I was starting to, show that I was left-handed, my hand was slapped and I was punished for using my left hand, and I had to learn how to use my right hand. And now I can kind of come at you with both hands, made for a pretty decent piano player. You know what I mean? Am I confusing you yet? Woo, woo, woo. That's what it's like out there, though. It's all confused right now. I can see why some people just throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, well, it's all gloom and doom. You're just a ignorant hick if you believe Donald Trump's on your side. You're just an ignorant hick if you believe the military's not corrupted to its core. I mean, these people, you know what? Where's your hope? Well, they're going to say, well, my only hope is in Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? We are his hands, are we not? Are we not the body of Christ? Are we not the embodiment of the church on earth? Isn't this the church? Aren't these hands the hands that make change? Isn't the fact that faith without works is dead, hasn't it sunk into you yet? You better pick a side. It's time to pick a side. Are you for the left-hand path to hell, or are you for the right-hand path of righteousness? Is the Republican Party all good? No, but they're for the right things. They're for family. They're for American values. They're for fairness and equality. They're against racism, not for it. They're the party of Lincoln. They freed the slaves. The left-hand path has deceived you all into believing there's something they're not. They are the epitome of evil, and they are working their master plan, not just in this country, but around the world right now. Sorry, flat earthers, around the world, they're planning their attack to enslave you all by destroying the middle class, by using financial and class warfare against you, by causing a race war, by dividing us against each other based on tribal lines instead of on the age-old, tried and true dividing line, which is right versus wrong, good versus evil, light versus dark. Pick your side. The time has come. God, save our republic. We are in such need of your help, O Lord. Help us.